Oh. Turns out I've driven down a one-way road and these barriers don't open this way.
Should be a really nice ride.
Apparently I bought the world's least flammable firelighters. I have spent the past hour trying to cook 4 pieces of chicken on this barbecue. But today I feel lucky. So 5 days after the NEC and the National Cycling Show, which was the last video we put out, we are back on the road for Glorious this weekend, but there are quite a few changes and a few things that are different. The first of all is I'm on my own this weekend. So I'm taking the whole rig and doing everything by myself because Ian's got some other plans. He's earned himself a day off. There's also been some other changes to the setup. Ian's been very busy. You've been busy.
Yeah, should we go and have a look?
All right.
Yeah, so since last time, I wanted to create a kind of a bulkhead that we could move, that we could support stuff up against. The idea is to keep everything, first of all, that we can get outside of the trailer in the first fix. So all the heavy stuff, so that'll be like the ease-ups, the tables, all the boxes and everything like that here. And then from this section we can rack the bikes out in 2 tier. So when we got the trailer, I put this L-track system, which is really, really versatile. You can kind of secure various points all the way along the trailer. And then I wanted something a bit more solid. Got some inspiration and a hack from campervan guys that they've found this beam that's actually a bed support from IKEA. And there's also a hack that you can actually support it onto the L-track system. So that's what we've got. Extremely versatile. I can set it wherever we want.
So that's one of the changes for this weekend. Ian has also spent a lot of time this week with a very cool upgrade to the truck. Show us what you've been up to then.
Well, the challenge was getting the Skypod that we already had, which we were running on the Mercedes last year, onto Grenadier. So we got a Rhino rack system on the Grenadier, and then it was trying to how we could manage that. First fix wasn't going to happen. It's like a lot of scratching our heads, a lot of thinking. Like you were looking on the internet, Rhino Rack did a system where you could fit it, but that was like $300, and that was from the States. It wasn't in stock. So I managed to get some aluminium box section, which I cut up into pieces. We managed to lift the rooftop tent down onto a table just here, turned it upside down so I could actually work on it, work all the measurements out. Work where all the drillings were going to go, fitted it, painted the box section tubing, and then we had to manual it on. And it was like, okay, has Ian measured enough times correctly? Are the holes going to line up? Is everything going to match up? Measure twice, cut once, measure 3 times, drill once. Unfortunate that everything lined up and we got it all on the system, and here it is, Skypod on the Rhino rack on the Grenadier.
So this weekend, I am camping in Sherwood Forest by myself, and the Skypod is our rooftop tent box. Allows us to be off the ground and away from the damp that often you get when you're camping, which makes you particularly cold. To be fair, he has done a fantastic job this week at trying to get this thing fitted. There was a lot of head scratching. The box weighs 80 kilos, so we initially got it forklifted onto the roof, and then realised that it wasn't going to fit, so we had to carry it off between the 3 of us. And then there was another day of ordering the right tubing, the fact that, you know, painting the rails black so that it looked right on the roof is just the attention to detail that I expect when it comes to Ian. And it looks class, it looks superb. So I'm looking forward to something a bit different this weekend. Pop the tent box up, no going to the hotel, no checking in, no messing about. Tent box in the air, done. Bed for the night. So I'm going to treat myself to a little barbecue as well. I have packed my bike. I haven't packed my kit. I think given that it's currently nearly 11 o'clock and I've still got 45 minutes worth of packing and 3 hours of driving, I'm not going to get it finished today in the daylight, I don't think. I need to crack on. See you later, mate. All packed up, ready to go. I'll see you later.
Solo!
It'll all be fine.
It'll be the same.
Not exactly the same. Yeah, no, it's true, it won't. And as I'm sat there just, you know, having a pint by myself, just quietly.
That's alright, I'll carry on with business. We've got orders to prepare and process and...
Yeah, bikes to build. You got to finish that one.
Yeah, I look forward to that one. It's nice just to get hands-on as well. So in between all the mayhem of setup, breakdown, we've still got a business to run. We've still got bikes to sell, customers sending their bike measurements in, making sure it fits them perfectly when we deliver them. So yeah, whilst you're on the road, I've got that to do, finish off some bikes, get them boxed up. Business as usual, crack on.
Right, let's hit the road. Three hours to Sherwood Pines, find where we need to be. It's showing us 2 o'clock and I'm hoping it's going to stay dry because I don't really want to get wet and then be camping and then be wet still and all of that stuff. So I've got a coffee, I don't intend to stop, straight down. Oh. Can you come this way? I'm not gonna get through that. That's the wrong way.
You've arrived at your destination.
Sure have. Turns out I've driven down a one-way road and these barriers don't open this way. And I don't fancy trying to reverse it back up the track. I need to be over there somewhere. I'm going to leave the truck where it is and try and work out how I get in to where I need to be. Disaster averted. Phil saved me. Thankfully the barrier had customer service that I could phone and they managed to hold the barrier up so I could do a U-turn. And Phil showed me the right road to get into the car park. What a stunning field. What a stunning area Sherwood Pines is. There's a lovely cafe just on the other side there. Right, let's get set up because it is now 2:30 and it's going to get dark in a couple of hours. Right, we're getting there. First easy up's up, but I've only put it halfway up. And the reason being, it is stunning, but you can probably see on the tree movement up there. It gets gusty very quickly. And as a result, I don't want any of the easy ups going flying overnight. So we are full pegs. Pretty much bolted down. I've got massive pegs on every corner. I could put some more straps on each corner as well, but that might be overkill. Funny, I was just thinking, I've been doing these type of events now for like 20 years, 25 years? Yeah, 25 years. From the age of like 13 and 14, coming to either National Mountain Bike Series races with the guys at Scott, or other sportives and events like that. Bringing all the exhibition equipment, setting everything up to put on a good display in, you know, beautiful areas, and it just got me thinking how lucky I've been in terms of having a life career in the cycling industry where, you know, I could have continued down a career path with the telecoms company I was working for and been doing a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday in an office, but instead what we do is entirely on the go all the time in all sorts of stunning and beautiful events and locations, and you get the peace and tranquility of Sherwood Pines and just overcoming little challenges. Like okay, currently it's quite windy, it's quite gusty. How many more straps do I put on the easy ups to stop them blowing away? Should I put the flags on or not? It's all these little sort of micro challenges you come across that you just sort of work your way through and you find a way through stuff. Maybe it's because it's sunny, maybe it's because it's like absolutely beautiful here. And it might be a completely different thought if it was peeing down with rain. But today I feel lucky. Right, let's get this last bit done, get it tied down. I need to go and wash the rig. I've realised I've not eaten anything yet either, so I'm getting a bit hungry. Nice and clean, tidy. There's nothing else I can do today. I could put walls up, but I'm concerned that they're going to be, with the gust of winds when they come through, they're going to blow against it. So I don't want to put any more pressure on the easy ups than are needed. At least this way the wind will blow through. Now this will come across a bit like an ad read, but I'm genuinely pleased that we have these Worx Hydroshots. We've got 2 of them, just down here. And the battery powered mobile jet washers are just so good. When we asked the guys for some of these and the batteries and some other stuff which I'll show you later on, they really wanted to help us make this look at its best. And they're just genuinely really good. I just like it. Like, it just works really well. They're powerful enough, the batteries last long enough, the batteries are all interchangeable across other devices. I'll show you some of the other gadgets tomorrow that we got from the guys. We've got one of their mobile pumps as well, which is just class. And just being able to swap the batteries over is brilliant. If one of them's dead, you can swap it over with another device. I'll show you one of the cool gadgets later on, literally. But yeah, let's get this cleaned up. We're going to lose the light soon and I need to get parked. So thank you, Worx. Just drying it off now, it's all nice and clean. I did forget to mention, if you use the code Vielo Sports on the Worx UK website, you get 10% off. Yeah, you'll have noticed that Ian and I are also in Columbia clothing. So I would also like to thank them for helping us this year, because we were just looking for kit that was going to be really technical, kept us warm, looks really good, fits really well. And the guys have provided us with a full season's worth of kit, from jackets to boots to trainers and everything. So at the NEC, it's probably one of the first NEC shows that I've done where I didn't have sore feet because the trainers were really comfy. I've been buying their kit for such a long time now, so yeah, it's really, really nice to have some really, really nice technical quality clothing when we're doing events outside and in all sorts of conditions. So far this season, the conditions have been quite nice actually, but moving forward, that's not going to be promised. Clean. I have just had a phone call though from the site that I'm staying at, and they can't hear me properly and I can't hear them properly, so I'm hoping they're telling me that they haven't cancelled the booking, but we'll find out when I get there. Let's go. It's about to get very dark very soon, and I still need to set everything up and cook some tea. Now this is cool. Check this out. What an absolute gift of a pitch. So I have this enormous pitch at the end of this caravan site. It's 40 acres they've got of various different standings of hard standings and touring pitches and stuff like that. And they were so accommodating for me to be able to chuck me fully hitched up on this one. And the reason being, I need to be out of here at 6 tomorrow morning. And I didn't want to be making a load of noise, reversing this, hooking it up when there's other caravans nearby. So the beauty of this is I can just pop the tent box down and be away. Got my own little corner. I'm going to set the table and chair up. I'm going to get the barbecue on the go. And I think I might have earned a beer. I've never used this, so it's going to be fun to see if I can get it working straight away first time. I'm sure I'm not going to fall over. That was too easy. Look at it! My accommodation for the evening. So this is a Skypod Lair. So it's hydraulically actuated on each side. Got some little... Let's go and have a look. These are, well, they're described as boot covers, but the guys when we bought it said they're also useful for putting a wine bottle in. We might test that. We have all of this space. Flavour mattress. So, two things that I've learned this week. First one, double sleeping bags are apparently a thing. I wanted a sleeping bag that might be warm enough for tonight, but I hate sleeping in a single sleeping bag. But apparently double sleeping bags are a thing now. So I have a 2-person sleeping bag, twice the width, and I can roll around, which is class. I've also got Zoe's electric blanket. I'm going to plug that in because I've got a power hookup as well. And I think this even has LED lights, so I'm going to go find my power bank and turn them on. I've got a little window out this side so I can see. But now I've got all of this set up. The sun's about to set, so I'm going to get the barbecue on. This Skypod is absolutely class. Like being able to be off the ground, comfortable, not have the wet and the horribleness that you get normally when you're on the floor. And it was just set up 2 seconds. The hydraulic lift puts the whole thing up, no tent pegs, no nothing, bang, done. Ready for tomorrow. Now, one thing I did mention before is Worx also make some other cool things, which they've sent me as well, which is this. This is a PowerShare cool box. So the cool box itself has got all my treats in for this evening. It runs off the 12 volt cigarette lighter or a 24 volt system, but the other benefit is it also runs off the Hydroshot batteries as well, so the system will charge it and run off the batteries. So the stuff is always either cold or it can even freeze down to minus something ridiculous. So thank you to the guys at Worx, because you sent me this 2 days ago and it is going to completely transform my weekend. Otherwise I'd be ordering a takeaway in, but instead we've got steak and there's some chicken as well somewhere. But first priorities. Oh, I have earned this beer. Cheers. Barbecue time. Now this, it's like an electrically assisted barbecue. I've never used it before, but we'll see. Oh my. Apparently I bought the world's least flammable firelighters. We're going to take away this way. This barbecue's not that good. I've been at it for 25 minutes now, it's 7:30. It's still barely just sizzling away. But I'm gonna stick at it. I'm gonna have a nice rare steak. And I'm gonna hope the chicken ends up cooking. I have spent the past hour trying to cook 4 pieces of chicken on this barbecue. And I'm holding a personal vendetta against you, Asda, for how poor this barbecue is. Because anybody can cook a steak medium or rare, but this chicken became so awful. I got to the point where I was putting firelighters in and just thinking, well, I'll just enjoy the taste of the chemicals if it means I can eat. Ian did say there's no point in trying to barbecue something. You should just order a takeaway. So there's a rule for you. Always listen to your dad. That is the worst part of my evening. Instead, I'm going to have a protein shake for dessert and I'm going to get myself to bed. The good side, though, is that my mate Steve's just texted me to say that he's managed to get his tickets for the Darkness this week. So I've got a gig coming up next week, which is fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. They're always awesome live. So thank you for that, Steve. I think my torch is about to die as well. Bedtime. Birds are noisy. I have just realised that I filmed a lot of this in 1080 rather than 4K. So it's possible that I will either cut out all of the coffee bits that I was doing this morning, or this whole video will be in 1080. And we'll find that out at some point tomorrow when I'm editing it. Also, birds are very noisy. Like, all through the night last night, they were chirping away until daft o'clock. There were some ducks attacking each other on the river next to me. It was very cold last night. Thankfully, I had the electric blanket, which actually made me too hot at one point, and I turned it off. And then an hour later, realised that it was freezing again, so I had to put it back on. But that thing was a godsend. The power hookup for that was just essential, I would say. So in the future, if we're doing one of these wild camping type things, I absolutely want one of those huge power banks, you know, the big chest cases that have all the batteries in, like a big it's basically a massive battery. I want one of those. I don't particularly want to run a generator, you know, trying to sleep with a thud of a generator knocking around in the background. Just, yeah, don't fancy it. It's also another one of those mornings where I feel quite grateful, like yesterday, in that it's dry, it's sunny. I mean, you know, beautiful surroundings. The forest area is stunning. It's fresh air. It's all the good stuff. Is this the boys now? I think it is. Right, let's get bike set up. Yeah, so this is definitely the busiest start I've seen to one of these so far this year. It's chocker for sign on, they don't get away for another 15 minutes. There was a queue all the way around the truck, so when these guys come back I'm going to be very, very busy, because there's going to be 600 people all hanging around, milling around, wanting to chat bikes. The chip van today actually has bacon sandwiches as well, so I'm gonna have to get some breakfast because last night's dinner was a disaster. Fast lads are starting to come back now, so I'm about to have a Coke to give me a sugar rush ready for yakking to people. This is the good bit. This is the bit where you're constantly engaging with people in very, very short conversations. Somebody once described it as a bit like speed dating, and I've never been speed dating, but I'd imagine something similar in that you get to talk to people, you very quickly explain who you are and what you're doing, and then you start to ask questions as to who they are and what they're into and bikes and stuff like that. The weather has been very kind, so the tent box is all sorted, packed up, ready for the next trip. I do have to give the car a wash tomorrow because on Monday it's getting a facelift. I'll leave it at that. This is the last weekend of 4 where we've had an event every weekend. So for me, tomorrow will be my 2nd day off in 4 weeks. Ian's got this weekend off, he's got an event, and then next weekend we've got something else planned as well, so nobody's working next weekend. And then Ian has 2 weekends on the bounce. So he'll be doing 2 of the glorious events down south, and he's just going to stay down for the week, which will be cool. We had a steady flow of people talking actually. It's been a very different event to what I was expecting. I thought it would be chaotic with the 600 riders back. But they've actually come back in at a steady flow. Lots of interesting conversations with people, which is always nice to interact with people and hear some of their stories. There's a lovely couple I was speaking to before who fell in love with a specific colour because it matched their existing business, which was quite cool. So I was able to show them that, and they get to drive back to actually Hexham, not far from us, chewing over how they're going to actually convince the other half they need to buy that bike, so that was fun. It was a really nice weekend. It was really nice, like really lovely conversations with people today. There was a guy that has a very modest YouTube channel that was riding the event for his channel, and him and his mates have got a couple of different YouTube channels, so that's cool. I also helped a gentleman out this morning whose SRAM battery had died in his shifter. So that's the 2nd time I've seen that event. So, top tip, if you are running a SRAM group set, stick one of those C2302 watch batteries in your backpack, or in your saddlebag, or in your essentials that you take with you on each ride. Because if it dies and you're on a ride, there's not really much else you can do. A lovely chap this morning who was explaining to me that he had prostate cancer. It had spread to his lymph nodes in the same way that Chris Hoy's has done. And he'd been given 5 years to live. And he was sharing that story with me as a way of promoting men getting tested for prostate cancer. And it just got me thinking. It's one of those things that is talked about. In the same week, Chris Stark revealed that he'd had testicular cancer as well. If you followed our social media, you'll see the man that we affectionately known as Empty Juan, who lost a lot of his major internal organs to cancer as well. It's just one of those things that touches so many people. But this guy was 3 years into a 5-year diagnosis and was just loving getting out on his bike. And he was just more than happy to tell me his story and to talk about it. And I was thankful of the time he'd given me to tell me before his ride. These events, half the time, they're for us to sell bikes. Ultimately, that's what we're doing. It's promotion for the business, right? But it's also really nice to spend time with people. You never know who you're going to talk to, and you never know what you're going to learn from people and how that's going to shape you and things like that. Yeah, overall, stunning day. Sherwood Forest is a beautiful place if you do get a chance to come. And it's just nice to see families out enjoying the fresh air and the spring sunshine. We've been blessed today. It's been very windy though. My bike's fallen over a couple of times. Please do all the important stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff, because the more you do it, the more people that see these, and it just helps with our energy when it comes to actually producing them. Done! Everything's finished, packed up, put away, tidy, made sure there's no zip ties or any little bits left over. So we'll say goodbye to the boys. We're gonna go see Donald today. Really, really good show. Lovely to see people, lovely to spend some time with people. Really good people, and just lovely to have some really nice conversations. And nice to see people excited about our bikes, which is always really heartwarming. And it just gives you the buzz. So it's 3 hours back to Newcastle. I'm gonna hit the road, empty the trailer, and then lock everything up and back in the office on Monday. So we'll see you then.